Hey everybody, it's Chris from Octopot, along with my lovely and talented daughter Kayla. We are here on a special day. It's not Friday, it's Tuesday. So we are going to start a new series. We're going to call it Tuesday Tutorials, and it's going to be a companion kind of with the Friday night videos. So watch us. First thing we're going to do today, again, it's not night, it's going to take me a little bit to catch gears. We are going to start seeds. We're also going to work on clones. We're going to tell you how to start your plants. So we're going to talk about two simple things. One, the seed. The other thing is a clone. We're going to look at two ways to do the clone. Let's talk about the seeds first. So I've been growing my own plants for a long time and haven't brought in any new ones. I got some Emancipator seeds from a buddy of mine. And I can't remember if he said it was a hermaphrodite or if they got seeded from a male. Not exactly sure, but I hear that it's a really cool, good strain. So we're going to plug a picture right here. I'm going to show you what the seeds look like. And you can see that there's some variation in the seed. Some of them are dark with nice modeling of colors. They're plump. And on the other end of the spectrum, they're kind of light green or gray or even white. Those are not mature. So those we're going to stay away from. We're going to pick 4 of the nice, plumpest, darkest colored seeds, and we're going to use those when we go to plant. And what we'll do is a pheno hunt, or a phenotype hunt. Even though those seeds are all from the same plant, each one's going to be a little bit different. It's just like me and my brother and sisters. We all came from the same basic seeds, but we are all completely different. And that's going to happen here. There may be some similarities, but there are also going to be differences. And we're going to look for the ones that grow the strongest, that have the most oil, and have the best yield. We'll look kind of at the spectrum, because a plant that has the most yield may not have the best oils, the oils that are fit for our own personal consumption to mix in with our body chemistry. So we'll take all 4 plants to maturity, as long as one of them or 2 of them don't really, and we'll judge at the end. Now, in order not to lose any of the genetics, we're going to take clones from those plants before they go into their main flowering portion, like we did with these. So that's the plan for that. We're also going to talk a little more about clones. We did a fairly in-depth conversation this past Friday, 3/27/20, where we're doing our living soil versus soil blend observation. There's a lot more detail in that, so if you want to go back. Today, we are going to clone the second plant. So we are doing a pheno hunt in here. I lost my original genetics. I'm using my Hermes seeds. It's worked in the past, and we're going to do it again. So these are 2 cuttings that I took Friday. And look how happy they are. It's amazing. The leaves are poking up. They're beautiful green. One of them we did directly into the octopot, the other one into the solo cup. So we're doing an observation on these when you have the 2 that come from the same plant. How do they respond in different environments? Going directly into the octopot where all of the roots are formed in one container versus the solo cup where they form and then get transplanted. So we'll be watching that. But currently, as I said, we're going to do plant number 2 so we can do a little pheno hunt, make sure that we pull the best of our genetics. Okay, let's go with the seeds. Where did I put those seeds, Kayla? Don't know. I lost the seeds. Aha! Seeds have been located. So, we want to make sure that we have the right conditions for our seed. We want the correct soil, which in octopot is a well-drained, well-aerated soil. Sunshine number 4, the ProMix HP, Coco Loco from Fox Farm, and peat and cocoa blend seems to work best. So however you want to make that happen. The moisture needs to be correct. There needs to be sufficient moisture for the seed coat to feel it and start the processes of splitting. Not too wet that you drowned it. Again, Octopod's perfect. Get it nice and moist. We'll cover it up. It'll have optimum conditions. The temperature, very important to keep it at the right range. And around 75 degrees works best. Too hot, the seed doesn't germinate. Too cold, the seed doesn't germinate. So I've found that one of my biggest problems in both cloning, well, mostly cloning because I haven't done seed, is the temperature. If I'm not on it on temperature, I have a problem. So temperature. And I'll talk about the heating mat with thermostat that I've been using in a little bit. So usually takes 3 to 7 days for the seed to pop. And if I were having non-feminized seeds in 5 to 6 weeks, I would be able to look at this seedling to see if it's a male or female by checking out the pre-flowers. So we'll probably talk about that when the plants get bigger, but that's just something to know. We use the dome again to put keep the moisture in. So we're going to plant this seed. I've got this little stake from the yellow sticky traps. Looks like the perfect size to poke a hole. Between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch is the preferred depth for that. I've already wetted the soil, packed it down, and now I've just covered it, packed it again, and with my handy princess sprinkler, I am going to just moisten the top. And I love this little sprinkling can because it's got tiny holes, and that means it doesn't flood the surface. So I'm just going to go over the top like so. I did not, it leaks. It's been around for a while, so we're going to put it back down there. We're just wetting that soil. The moisture is going to come up from the bottom. I'm going to fill this to the first level on the depth gauge. Put the dome on. Dome's real simple. Straighten out the legs a little bit. Put them crossways. And then cover it up. So I'll do that with all 4. And then I'm going to put them on the heating pad. And it's an elevated heating pad in the back. The other thing that I'll do is make sure I put a little name tag on this with the date and what seed it is. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. We're going to do a quick clone cutting. So I've got my solo cup, moist soil. I'm going to take the sharp end of the stake. I'm going to make my hole for the cutting. And that's about 1 inch, not quite 1 inch in there. I've taken some of the bottom branches a little earlier from plant number 2, because we're pruning them up from the bottom, and I haven't looked at them yet. I like this one, it's nice and compact. We pull them off of the bottom, and those have the most of the hormones that are needed by the plant for rooting. So I'm going to pull off this leaf here, and I'm going to slice this right at the node diagonally. I'm going to pull out this shoot. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves, counting this one. 4 leaves-ish. Seems to be a nice number. One of the keys is not just slicing that bottom stem at an angle, but slicing through that node. If I can bisect that node, cut it right through the middle and pull it out. You see that? I kind of poked it through and then pulled it out. That makes a nice even cut. Get a little bit of rooting powder here. Make sure that that's well covered. Pop it in, push it in. Get my little watering can. I guess I can give it one little shot. Just kind of soak it in the top so it makes good contact, gets rid of the air bubbles in there. And then with these, I'm going to do like I did with this. And I'll just put them in this little controlled environment, put them on the heating pad, and let them grow. So let's talk real quick about the heating pad. We'll show a picture of it. Ta-da! And it's really simple. It's like something that you have for a heating mat on the floor if you're working in your garage. You plug it in, it's got a thermometer. You set it to the temperature that you want, which I have at 75 degrees. It's important to get it off of the floor, so you see that I've got a platform under there, which is just a vinyl yard table with the legs not extended, because I still want it on the floor. That gives a flat, hard, smooth surface for the mat to be on. It's waterproof, and then there's air underneath it, so that air makes great insulation. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick is something that's brand new. It's just using natural light to get my clones to start. Normally I stick them in a tent or in my room. I put my light way above and then just move it slowly closer. 16 hours a day on and 8 hours off, just like normal veg. When I started these Friday, I did something completely different, which was use the natural light on my north window. And they look great. I don't know if I've ever had clones after, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, after 4 days standing up this well. And I think that there are several conditions that are there that help it work. And one is we've got short days, not very intense light, and it's cool. So the temperature on the top is a little cooler. The plant doesn't transpire as much, lose moisture, use energy. So it's kind of got it easy there. And on the bottom with the warming of the heat pad, that warmth, I think, is good for the differentiation of the root cells, of the cells into root cells. So I believe that the plant uses less of its existing resources, or the plant cutting uses less of its resources to just stay alive and has more energy to root. So that's pretty cool, and we'll keep watching that. Now we're going to be using these in the autofill system, so I've got one last thing to show you. It's more of a tip than anything else. I'm going to be putting these back there where they're not going to be hooked up, but I'm going to have water in the reservoir. And I don't have any plugs for these 3/4 inch bulkheads, but I can make my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tubing, I'm going to fold it over, and I can take wire, or in this case, I've got this little zip strip, and I'm going to clamp it into place, and that bend serves as a stop. So if you don't have any plugs, you can just strap it on, push it in there, and it's all set to stop. But we're ready to go. Thank you for watching. Grow in peace.